Welcome to the Faithful Bonds channel. If it's your first time here, welcome to the channel. We appreciate having you here. We hope to see you come back. And if you're a returning viewer, we appreciate you coming back to see us.
So this video today is for those that have reached out to us previously and recently, and even for those that may come across this video in the future. May you be blessed and encouraged.
Absolutely. So today's topic is going to be very imperative, and I need every single one of y'all to lock in with me because this is very important. As far as your relationships are concerned, marriages, this topic is going to be very important. So we're going to talk today about how to create and maintain a bond in a relationship. So first things first, you can't maintain a bond that you don't have yet, right? So you have to actually create a bond, a connection with the person that you're with, So one of the biggest things as far as that's concerned is making sure you spend that time, whether it's through text message, phone calls, just spending time in person together, making sure you figure out, hey, is this person for me? Do they have the same goals, the same interests? And do they have the same belief system as well? Because one of the biggest things, especially in today's world, that seems to be a rift between individuals who, try to talk to one another or get in a relationship with one another is belief systems. And then they jump into a relationship too quickly without hashing those things out. Figure out what hobbies the other person likes. Figure out what things that you both like together. So even when you're building that, that bond, that connection, being able to go and enjoy some of those things. Like, for example, I like to bowl. She actually came to like bowling too, meeting me and things like that. One of the ways we connect is that, we go bowling together sometimes. And also things like movie nights, like having movies that you guys both like, that you guys agree on, just having that quality time together really helps to, not only build the bond and build the connection, but also to help maintain that connection, making sure that you guys don't, forego some of those things.
So once you've established that connection, which happens when you meet someone, there are some things that happen in between that. You can either move with the person, you can either have like work changes, especially when you're living with the person, you got different work shifts, and then you can also may have a baby or a big loss in the family. Any of these major life events can and tend to disrupt the flow of the relationship.
Because like my wife said, life changes happen all the time, whether you have kids, you move, anything like that. And especially different schedules, like having to navigate different schedules, especially when they're kind of far apart. Like, let's say you work the first shift hours and your wife or husband works the second shift or third shift hours. So like trying to find time in between those times is very difficult. So trying to, even if you all gotta sit down one day, like, hey, this is what my schedule looks like. This is what your schedule looks like. Let's see if we can find some time in between to spend time together, even if it's something small. Every little bit counts.
Yes.
And especially when it comes to marriages and relationships, for sure. So just being able to navigate through those things, make those adjustments, like my wife beautifully said, and continuing forward.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, yes, I like how you said that. First things first is being aware that there has been change and that this change has strained the relationship, maybe, right? Or is causing some rift there between you and your significant other. Any big life event can cause changes in you and your behavior and you not even notice. So sitting down with the person and having a conversation, not taking it personal, but really just coming together and trying to figure out what happened. And then after that is once you get past that and you realize, like, okay, this major life change just happened in our lives together. So I love you, you love me. How can we navigate through that? And one of the things that always helps is always remembering what is the one thing that brought you together. Because yes, there's the establishment of the connection, which my husband went over. But then there are things that will always keep the relationship going. Movie nights kind of like across the board. Like that's like a thing that a lot of relationships like to do. So if you have popcorn just laying around, you better pop that bag of popcorn and go watch us a movie with your significant other. Enjoy, have a good time. Watch a movie that you both will like. That way you guys can talk about it, no matter what it is, if it connects you to the other person. And then also hobbies, like he mentioned. Either if one of you have a hobby that you guys have, played for a while, like one of you guys, and then the other one is okay too, because we don't want to now manipulate people and start acting like they need to be doing what we're doing, because no, it has to come naturally. So, and it has to make sense too. Like he mentioned bowling. He likes bowling. I'm very open-minded, so I was like, hey, bowling. I remember I went bowling when I was in high school. That was okay. I had some soreness throwing the ball. I don't know how many pounds I threw, but yeah, I was like, yeah, bowling seems like a lot of fun. When I started, I would just go and watch him play for like a year.
Yeah.
I didn't even bowl. Like all I did was just support him, cheer him on, which is why if you're watching this video and you see me around, you'll hear me cheering him. Yeah, baby, come on, let's go, because that's how it started. And his friends in Jersey, they saw that and they loved that. And they were like, hey, why don't you bowl with your husband? Like, you seem like you're in it. Like, you're not just coming around and on your phone and just dissociated. You actually are engaging. You're encouraging him. He's bowling well because you are encouraging him. Go ahead and bowl with your husband. And I was like, yeah, I'm not too good. I'm not too sure. But the point is, you got to start somewhere. That's Absolutely. What I'm trying to say. And so a hobby. It could be anything, if you're able to do it. Then also exercise. Exercise is something that we both do as much as we can. Yes. We're not able to do it all the time together, but when we can, we do it together. Absolutely. And it's going to help in so many ways, which you can imagine, and even ways you can't imagine.
Absolutely. It helps. 100%. And I did just want to add, because I love how she gave like some very concrete examples. And she actually hit a point I was actually going to hit. And even when things start to get strained, making sure you guys ever heard the term like go back to your first love, So basically, when it comes to your relationship, when your relationship's kind of strained, go back to those things that help bring you together. Go back to those things that help you establish a connection. If you guys had went on date nights previously and that really helped your relationship, figure out a way to get your date nights back. Go out to eat, go take a walk somewhere. If you guys know a beautiful spot in your town or area where you can just, chill out, spend some time together, go do that, because that's going to help reestablish that connection that may have been lost through the hustle and bustle of life's changes, And like she said, like different activities, like activities that the other person may like that you may want to give a try. Like if you've never done, because like my wife said she went bowling once before, but she's never really done it like that. But she was willing to give it a shot because I loved it. And, that helps establish a great connection, because if you're one of those people who's just like, I don't, I'm not, I just don't want to do that, or whatever. Or if you're not supportive of your spouse or your significant other in these regards, then you start seeing more disconnect, which is exactly what we're trying to avoid, especially in marriages, for sure, because that's when things start to happen, and then like she said earlier, you start to second guess, right. Is the person for me? Mm-hmm. You start to think, oh, who out there might be for me? And that's where a lot of infidelity begins. Yes. So making sure you do those things that help to cultivate the relationship, build up the relationship, and to fully maintain that full connection with your significant other, whether you're courting or you're already married.
Games.
Yes.
Games is very important, you guys. There is a game that my husband and I have been playing for, it's got to be like going on 3 years. Yep. It's a card game. And we've been playing that card game for 3 years. Now, we don't play it every week because we do other things pertaining to what we just discussed that still keep us connected. But we do the game. And I lie you not, I don't know what's going on with those cards. We're not running out of those. Like every time we're picking up a new card that's like just like a new question. So can you tell me a little bit more about that?
It's like how Jesus had breaking up the breads and the fish,
and
right? It just kept going and going. It's like, are there extra cards being thrown in here?
Right, I've been wondering.
But basically, the essence of this card game that my wife described is it breaks down into 5 categories. I believe it's individual, family, intimacy, past and future, and couple.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's basically a different set of questions, as in you ask your significant other those questions. So she picks up a card, she reads me the question, and I answer the question. And the good thing about a game like that is that sometimes you have to dig in a little bit. Sometimes you have to go back a little bit of time, and you begin to learn things about your spouse, significant other, whoever so have you, things that you just never would have known.
Yes.
And things that probably would have never came out.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it may be things about their personality that may have came from something that you would have never known until you pick up that card and ask that question.
And also, I wrote this down because the last time we played that game was over this weekend.
Yep.
And I was like, wow, this would be great because we've been playing this forever. And y'all, you guys can find this on Amazon. You guys can find couple games on Amazon like there's no tomorrow. And one of the things that we noticed over the past years, but really just more intentionally now thinking about it, these games help you learn from each other. It helps you explore more topics that can come up in different situations because some of the questions do pertain to future situations or situations that have passed but were never addressed.
Right.
And also bonding time, the most important thing, which is the whole point of this video. It helps you bond. It helps you just really reconnect with the person. No matter what life changes have happened, it really helps you appreciate the other person. And it's just a connection that's made.
Absolutely.
Remade. So we want to encourage you to keep pressing on. Look for those things because every relationship is different. What connected you guys might be different from what connected us, but there's still a connection that was made.
Exactly.
Never forget that. Also, maintaining whatever connected you, keep that going so that it can maintain. And that is how you will be able to have a successful relationship. And I kind of want to turn it now because this is a faith-based YouTube channel. I want to now turn it into godly couples and marriages because that is important whether you are just attending church or you're a leader. Taking care of your home. Yes. That is very important. And these things that we're sharing, we get asked about, and this applies to anyone, but it definitely should be a thing for those that are in a godly marriage because there are people that, the divorce rate is really high and it should not be that way.
Right.
And it's simple things that could be addressed, tweaked, even like some of the things that we're mentioning here, that if you really think about it, when you listen to everything, it's very simple. Like he said, going back to the basics.
Right, absolutely, 100%. And especially like she said, it's godly marriages and godly relationships. I'm gonna kind of bring back a point that I mentioned earlier about how you create a bond and how you create a connection. One of the things that connected her and myself was the fact that she was a believer. And I was like, yeah, I'm a believer too. And a lot of the things that we used to talk about were things I learned when I was a child. But, I went through my things and things like that. Not gonna get into details, but basically I had a connection with her already because she mentioned that she was a believer. So part of what we were able to conversate about and kind of connect on were godly principles. So that is very important. And if you guys remember earlier in the video, I mentioned making sure you figure out what the hobbies are, what the belief systems are. So because the Bible says, do not be unequally yoked. So if you're in a relationship, or especially in a marriage, in which you're a believer and the other person isn't, there's gonna be a disconnect. Yes. And that's good. And there's no way around it. I hate to say it.
And you want to pray about it because God can intervene. We do know that. God can do all things. So definitely go in prayer and ask God to come in, and show you, maybe it is something he can fix, work around, and maybe it might be something not. But we can't tell you what to do. And if you don't know what to do, just seek Jesus.
Take it to God, absolutely. Because without doing these things that we discussed today, your relationship, your marriage is sure to fail. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna just say it as it is. It's sure to fail, and then people just wonder why. What happened? It's like, did you guys address the situations? Did you guys address the changes? Did you guys try to work around the changes? But if you don't,
go back to the basics. Spend that quality time. Do what connects you guys together. And don't stop doing that. That's the work part. Don't stop. Keep doing it again and again and again. And it's going to be enjoyable. It should be enjoyable if you're with the right person that's for you.
absolutely. And if you're not, you'll definitely find out real quick. You know, like my beautiful wife said, making sure you go back to those basics, doing those things that you guys enjoy together that actually brought you together to begin with.
Put it on rinse and repeat.
Rinse and repeat. All right.
So thank you so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or concerns, please drop them in the comment section down below. You are also welcome to message us. I'm not sure if we have an email set up.
Yes, we do have an email set. It's faithfulbonds2019@gmail.com. Feel free to shoot us an email at faithfulbonds2019@gmail.com with any questions, concerns, anything you want us to address in the video. If there's any videos that you guys specifically want, that you guys have questions to us about, feel free to let us know in our email. And also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Love you guys. God bless each and every one of you. And see you on the next one.